Okay, so let's start by looking at the prompt. I said use the Jarvis content agent to create and schedule a single image post on latest AI topics. The first thing that the agent starts doing is actually start searching around, like, again, what is the format, and then starts the web search. In the web search, it is going ahead and seeing different links and URLs on where what is happening, and like again bringing out the latest topics. After the latest topics are done, it kinds of creates and reads the design system that we have given it and creates an image prompt, and then finally writes the caption for the post and then generates an image. The image looks something like this, where it shows about GitHub Copilot now becoming token-based billing. That's the topic that it has chosen for this particular post. And then finally, it goes ahead and asks me a question. What do I want to do with this post? Do I want to publish it right away, or do I want to schedule it or do something else with it? And as you can see, I say add to the queue. So I have a queue in which it's going to get published, and the agent automatically reads it and publishes the image on LinkedIn. Let me just quickly show you this on how this looks on the dashboard. And we already have, again, a post ready to go with all the content and the image that it created automatically available. And this post will go out on 9th June, 7:30 a.m. UTC, which is the post that I've scheduled it to go for. And that is how easy it is. In a single prompt, we were able to go ahead, create a post, create a caption, and create an image, and get it published too. And you can see I am actually using this content a lot to post on my own LinkedIn. And for the last 1 month, I've been perfecting this agent on how this works properly. Let's now talk about how this agent actually works. Very simply, we give a single prompt. Claude automatically creates a content brief, searches the topics and gets out what is required. Then it builds an image using either Nano Banana or the GPT Image 2 model. Finally writes the caption and uses another tool, which is Zernio, to actually publish this content on LinkedIn or any other social media that you need. Nano Banana and the image model. What is Zernio? Now, Zernio is probably one of the most amazing tools to actually schedule content using AI on all different social media platforms. It is super simple to set up, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. But it is one single tool that can post on all of your different social media accounts. For me right now, the goal is LinkedIn, so that's why I'm publishing most of my content out on LinkedIn right now. But you can schedule anything anywhere, and it's super easy. Now, let's start by building our content agent. This is going to be super simple. We're going to take really 3 steps. Step number 1, to actually build a content researcher skill, then an image generator skill, which is going to be using probably GPT image here, and then schedule and publish using Zernio. I'm going to walk you through step by step. Now, we have a completely new project and we're going to build this together. So let's get started. First thing is very simply to build out the content agent, which can technically do web research and also some kind of content research. I want you to build a sub agent in Claude, very simply, which can do the following. It should be able to research about a topic, right, and bring out a content brief. So the goal is that this content brief should be able to support a social media caption and also create an image based on that. I will be creating those skills separately, but the content brief should have enough data about the topic that can be utilized to create an image that can refer to that, and also to create something of a social media caption. The prompt is in and we are good to go, right? And I will let this run. It will technically be able to build a simple sub-agent, right? I've also given it access to the documentation for sub-agents so that it makes sure that what is needed to be built and how to actually build this. So it has finally built the agent. Now the problem was that it was creating the agent in the main Claude directory while I wanted it to live in this directory, and we have the content brief researcher agent. Now we will improve the naming and everything else, but we have at least the initial agent which can research on a topic and produce a structured content brief, which is pretty good for us. And it has access to web search and web fetch, so that means it can research on the web on your behalf. So we are good. Let's go to the next step. So I can say this one is done pretty good starting. Now the point is image generation skill. Now we are going to keep this super simple, right? All you need is an access to an API which can actually create images on your behalf. Now for text first images, I would recommend you to use GPT Image 2 model, which is probably one of the best models out there to right now generate images. And also the costing is pretty comparable to what Gemini or Nano Banana will give you. So we want to use this particular image, and the best way to actually again, only thing that you need is very simply search for GPT Image 2 API. And once you go ahead for that, it will give you the API model documentation for this, and this is where you will end up. You can just search on Google about it and you'll find the GPT Image 2 model. And I'm going to give it access to, very simply, I'm going to copy this URL and copy the API URL. All these links will be present in the description. So this is just how image generation works in OpenAI. I'm going to take both of these things and very simply go back to Claude. So start a new chat here and very simply say, I want you to build an image generation skill which should be able to take an input of a content brief or also an input from the user and actually create an image based on that. Now once you have this prompt, I'm going to do 2 things. Very simply drop the link for how to generate an image, and I'm also going to drop the GPT image to model link. And then all you need to say is very simply define how you want this to. I want the image generation skill to technically actually also have a Python script which can generate the image. I will give you the API keys at the end. Once you paste the URLs, then the next part is very simply, I want you to build also a script that can actually generate an image. I've given you the access to the OpenAI APIs on what needs to be done. I will add the API key at the end. So just give me an option to add that at the end. But till then, you should be able to take an image input of a prompt and then actually build an image and save that as an output in the folder. And that is pretty much it. And we're going to press enter. This will start building the image generation model now automatically, which is technically going to be just a Python script. Now we'll let it continue, and it will take probably a couple of minutes, and I'll show you what the final output looks like. Now the point is, it also finally generated, like, again, very simply, a generate image function. This is an actually, you don't need to care about this, but this is just code written to actually create the image. So what it will do is it will actually take the prompt and send it to OpenAI and bring that data back, which is the data in here is very simply going to be an email. But very simply, one thing that we need is we need an API key to generate the images. So you can see here that again, API key, we can just give Claude our API key, which is not the best option, right, again, to do that, but I'm just going to give it for the purpose of this test. I'm just going to create an API key and give it to Claude to set it up. And you can do that also if you're running locally, just be a bit more careful. So we are good. It has already created. Now to get an API, very simply, all you need to do is go to GPT Image 2 and sign up on the OpenAI playground. Once you're on the playground, you can click on the API dashboard from here and you will get into your OpenAI platform. Now if you're not logged in, just simply go ahead and log in. Once you're logged in, go to API keys on the left hand side and very simply create a new key. So I'm just going to click create a new key. I'm going to put test 3 and I'm going to click on create a secret key, and very simply I'll get a key that I can copy and paste. I'm going to give the key to Claude and say here is an API key for you to add for image generation. Now again, this is not a best practice to give your API key directly to, like, again, Claude, but I am okay to, like, let it go ahead and actually update it as a variable. So it will start going ahead and doing what is needed, and you're pretty much good to go with the image generator skill. Now comes the most important part, is actually to build and connect the Zernio MCP, which is also again super simple. Now the goal of Zernio is very simple, that you should use it with your AI agents to post, schedule and do whatever you need with content. It can also help you schedule ads and everything, and it's a pretty cool tool to use. You can see it has access to like around 15 plus platforms, which is crazy. And you can see you can even do advertisements, LinkedIn ads, Google ads and Meta ads with this, which is again just another own part. If you're interested to watch that video about how to use Claude Code to build ads, Meta ads, put that in the comment below and I will make sure to build that up if you're interested till here. And also hit the subscribe button if you're here. It would help me out a lot and you'll keep getting the latest updates on this. Awesome. So with this, it's pretty simple to get started. I am already logged in. I'm going to click on my account and we are available here. You can see I already have my LinkedIn connected. Now to connect any new profile, it is super simple. Just select any one of these tools and log into them. For example, if I had to connect to anything, like let's say my YouTube, I'll just click on that and it will connect. You can also connect your WhatsApp and everything else. So if I had to connect my Reddit account, it will just take me to Reddit and give me an option to allow. Right now, I don't want to connect my Reddit account, so I'm just going to go back because not the goal today. I already have my LinkedIn set up and that is as easy as it takes. Then the only thing you need to do to set up is pretty simple, right? Now, once this setup is done, you need to see and click on this button called documentation, right? Again, that's the most core part, right? There is a documentation option where you can directly take yourself to the documentation for Zernio. And the only reason that we need to come here is because they already have built a beautiful copy for AI button, which can help you get set up on actually like Zernio in literally 2 minutes, right? So we're just going to click on copy for AI. I'm going to come back to Claude Code and finally create the skill to actually publish this content. And now we are going to click on copy for AI and actually start a new conversation in Claude to actually do this properly. So let's go ahead with that. Very simply, I want you to now create a skill for actually posting content, right, directly to LinkedIn. I am going to share you the documentation for Zernio, which is an automatic content scheduler and poster using APIs. Look into the documentation properly and create the right info and create the right skill which can actually help me publish content. The content option should be to upload an image, to upload a caption, and also then schedule the content as needed, right? and I have all of this. I'm going to paste the Zernio API options. I'm going to click on copy for AI. I'm going to paste that, and I'm also going to say use skill creator because I do want it to use this properly and I don't want to do the steps myself. Okay, now it will start looking at this and actually start creating content. If we face any issues, we'll go ahead and solve it as needed. This should be pretty simple. Again, most of the times it does create in probably like a couple of minutes, and it's pretty simple to use it. Now we're going to let Claude do its job, but we are pretty much done. Like literally in the next 2 minutes, we'll have a complete system built end to end. Okay, so it has already built the skill. It has also built this helper file which will actually publish the content out there, and we are good with that. Only thing I'm going to ask you to do is move the environment variable setup. So I have my API keys here, right, again, and I want everything to settings.local. The reason I'm doing this is because it's a good practice to maintain your API keys in a separate file, and that is the way it should be. It should not be in a plain text and everything else. So let's not take a shortcut here. We finally have everything ready, and we'll put this here, right, again. So it will also add the OpenAI API key, and I'll update that after we are done with this video to use the system. You can see we already have the Zernio API key option here. Very simply, let's go back to Zernio and get this API key. So if you come back to your dashboard, all you need to do is click on API keys. It's super simple. Click on this, right? I'm just going to write test3, and we're going to say read and write. I'm going to click on create key, and we're going to get an API key created. And this API key, I'm going to put it here, and this is published and good to go. Now we have all the three things, right, again, which is a content brief agent, an image generator, and published to Zernio. But the only thing that we need to do is actually update our content brief researcher agent to link all of this together. So it's going to take probably 1 minute. I'm going to say update the content brief researcher agent to actually use the image generator, skill, and also the publish to Zernio skill. The goal should be that I should just be able to use the content brief agent and actually create an image with the image generator skill, and then it should be able to publish that content also online using publish to Zernio skill. And that is it. And now it will update that particular agent to link all of these three things together. So if we come back to our checklist, we're pretty much done. We have the content researcher skill, which is done. We have the image generator skill, which is done. And we also have the schedule and publish option, which is being built finally. Now, let's see how much time. That's probably going to take a second. Okay, perfect. So the whole setup is ready, and let's actually test it. Okay, so we are going to very simply say in the same chat, I'm just going to start with create a single post for how AI impacts education. That's it. Simplest topic that comes to my mind on very simply, like, and it should technically be able to do all the three things, right? Again, show research about the content, actually create the image, and post it. Let's see what happens in a couple of minutes, and let's hope it works in one shot. So the best thing that has happened here is it's actually gone ahead and actually created an image, right, again, and it has also checked which accounts are linked. So it can see that it only has my LinkedIn account linked, and you can see this here. Again, this is the image that it has generated, and I can simply say go ahead and publish this. I'm good with this. And that is one of the coolest things that it asked me, like, again, that for my permission before publishing. You can obviously change this as you need, but again, I'm just going to go ahead and publish this, and it will probably take like a couple of seconds for it to be published. And let's see. So publishing now, and we'll also give you a link most of the times. If it does not give you, we just see it on Zernio. And this is the power, right? We're able to do this in less than like an agent that does this, and you can keep this running for as many topics as you want, which is the coolest part, right? So, and this is an interesting thing that's happening right now. You can see that again, as soon as I asked it to publish, it figured out there's an issue on how to actually upload an image, because LinkedIn, I want to post this image and upload that. Now the point being here that again, because it needs to upload and everything else, it is now going ahead and seeing how to actually run a media upload, and it's automatically going to go ahead and find that out also, right, again. So it's going ahead and reading the documentation for Zernio, which is the best power of Zernio, that it really is built for AI. So it's very AI friendly. The docs are open, everything is open, there is no blockers. Your AI agent can go ahead and read all that data and bring that back. So I am hands off. Now it's going to take probably a minute for it to figure this out, but once this is figured out, we are good to go. And you can finally see we have the actual post live on LinkedIn. You can literally see I posted it right away, and that's the power that we are looking at. That we were able to build a complete agent that can do research, build everything, and come back to this. Now this is what we have been able to build, and we have been, now this is what our AI agent looks like, and here is how I would improve on this, and also show you what are the things that I've already built. So you can also build a carousel builder, right, where you can have carousels, something like this, where you have like, again, carousels which are created and generated as PDFs and then sent out on LinkedIn. I already have around 3 to 4 posts already scheduled, and that's the whole idea. You can also add more information about your brand, so all my carousels kind of look the same. So you have a similar color structure, similar objects, and everything else. And all of these things are something that you can improve upon. Let me show you a couple of examples. You can see, like, again, very simple, like, all the images and everything else looks pretty same. And because I have added a brand identity to it, about with my name and everything else, and you can make your images better and better as required. You can just update the agent as you go. And with that, you can technically have, like, again, the whole thing running in a single place and schedule a week's worth of content in literally 1 hour. And that's the most powerful thing that you can do. And building your online presence couldn't have been easier. So just go ahead and start building. Now, if you are someone who wants all the access to the skills that we generated and everything else, you can go ahead and click on the link below, which will be available for free. And if you want actually the skills which I'm using myself for building the carousels, building the images, creating the content briefs, and adding the brand identity, you can go ahead and join our community where all of this documentation and skills will be available for free. But if you're someone who's interested to actually get the carousel builder skill and the other skills that I already have, which completely, like, build these things, build the images, build the carousels, and publish that, and also add an initial comment on this in the setup, you can join our community. You get access to all of this and a lot more skills that you can use on a daily basis to improve your Cloud Code ecosystem. So go ahead and check out the links in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. It helps me out a lot, and I would love to see you in the next one.